Imagine waking up tomorrow and thinking, I'll study only when I feel motivated. Sounds nice, right? Now imagine your motivation is a cat. Some days it's affectionate. Most days, it knocks things off the table and disappears. Here's the shocking truth. Japanese students don't wait for motivation. They don't chase it. They don't even trust it. And that's exactly why they stay consistent, focused, and calm while the rest of the world waits for a magical, I feel like it moment that never shows up. Today, I'm going to tell you why Japanese students never rely on motivation, what they use instead, and how you can steal this approach without becoming a monk, waking up at 4 a.m., or owning a rice field. Let's begin. First, let's talk about the big lie we're all taught. We grow up believing this idea. If I'm motivated, I'll work hard. So we wait. We scroll. We watch videos titled, How to Get Motivated. Ironically, we don't do the thing because we're waiting to feel ready. Japanese students look at this idea and think, that sounds risky, because motivation is emotional, and emotions are unreliable. One day you feel like conquering the world. The next day, your brain says, let's lie down and rethink our life choices. Japanese education doesn't build systems around feelings. It builds systems around structure. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two students. Student A says, I'll study math when I feel motivated. Student B says, every day at 6 p.m., I sit at my desk and open my book. Student B doesn't ask, how do I feel today? The action happens first. Feelings come later. In Japan, this way of thinking starts early. Kids clean their own classrooms. No janitors rushing in to save them. No speeches about motivation. Just a simple rule. This is what we do. At first, kids don't feel excited about cleaning floors. But over time, something interesting happens. The habit becomes normal. And what's normal doesn't need motivation. That's the first secret. They don't depend on motivation because they depend on routine. Now let's talk about routines. A routine is like a train schedule. The train doesn't wake up and say, I don't feel like running today. It runs. Every day, same time. Japanese students design their days the same way. Study time isn't emotional. It's scheduled. Homework isn't a dramatic battle. It's just part of the day, like brushing teeth. And yes, sometimes they feel tired. Sometimes bored. Sometimes they'd rather watch anime. But the system doesn't care. You sit. You start. Even for 10 minutes. This leads to something powerful. Once you start, your brain slowly wakes up. Resistance drops. Focus increases. Motivation shows up after action, not before. Most people wait for motivation to start. Japanese students start, and motivation follows like a confused friend who arrived late. Now let's talk about effort. In many cultures, we praise talent. She's smart. He's gifted. They're naturally good. In Japan, effort is praised more than talent. There's a famous idea there. You get good by doing boring things consistently. No magic. No shortcuts. Just repetition. Let's say a student wants to improve English. Instead of waiting for a motivational wave, they say, I'll read one page every day. One page sounds too easy. That's the point. When something feels easy, your brain doesn't resist. You don't need hype music or inspirational quotes. You just do it. This mindset removes pressure. And when pressure goes down, consistency goes up. Now here's where it gets interesting. Japanese students don't ask, how do I feel? They ask, what is the process? They trust systems more than emotions. Let me give you another simple example. Imagine you're trying to go to the gym. Motivation-based thinking says, I'll go when I feel pumped. System-based thinking says, my shoes are by the door. I leave at 7. No debate. No inner negotiation. Just action. Japanese students apply this to studying. Same desk. Same time. Same tools. Your brain loves familiarity. It relaxes. When the environment is stable, focus becomes easier. And this is why they don't burn out easily. Burnout often comes from emotional swings. Big motivation. Big effort. Big crash. Japanese students stay in the middle. No extreme highs. No dramatic lows. Just steady progress. Now let's talk about discipline. But don't worry, this isn't the scary kind. In Japan, discipline isn't punishment. It's self-respect. It's saying, I'll do what I promised myself, even when it's boring. Especially when it's boring. Because boring is where growth hides. Think about it. Nobody posts a video titled, I improved by doing small, boring things daily. But that's how real progress happens. Japanese students understand this early. They don't romanticize motivation. They respect consistency. And here's something funny. When you stop chasing motivation, life becomes lighter. You're not constantly disappointed. You're not waiting for the perfect mood. You simply show up. And when you show up enough times, results appear. Grades improve. Confidence grows. Stress decreases. Now let's talk about one of the biggest differences. In many places, students ask, why do we need to study this? In Japan, the question is often, what's my responsibility right now? It's not about passion every second. It's about commitment. Passion is great, but it's optional. Commitment is non-negotiable. And this creates freedom. Because when something becomes a responsibility, you stop overthinking it. You don't argue with brushing your teeth. You don't wait for motivation to shower. You just do it. Studying becomes the same. Now let me tell you a small story. A Japanese student once said something interesting in an interview. They said, I don't like studying. I just study. That's it. No drama. No emotional explanation. Just action. And strangely enough, this makes studying less painful. When you stop expecting enjoyment, you stop feeling disappointed. Anything good that happens becomes a bonus. Now let's talk about group culture. In Japan, students often study together, even silently. No loud talking. No constant joking. Just presence. When everyone around you is focused, it pulls you in. You don't need motivation. The environment does the work. This is why libraries and study rooms are so important. They remove distraction. They create quiet pressure. Not pressure to perform, pressure to show up. And showing up is enough. Now here's the part most people miss. Japanese students don't aim for perfection. They aim for continuity. Missing one day isn't the end of the world. Quitting is. So if they're tired, they do less. But they still do something. 5 minutes. 1 page. 1 problem. This keeps the habit alive. Motivation loves streaks. But habits don't need motivation. That's the magic. Now let's talk about you. You don't need to copy Japanese students exactly. You don't need to bow to your desk or eat rice while studying. You just need to steal the idea. Stop asking, how motivated am I? Start asking, what is the smallest action I can do today? Make it boring. Make it easy. Make it repeatable. Put studying on autopilot. Same time, same place, same start ritual. Maybe it's making tea, opening a notebook, setting a timer. Your brain learns. Oh, this is study time. No motivation required. And here's the funniest part. Once you stop relying on motivation, you start feeling more motivated. Because progress feels good. Small wins build confidence. Confidence creates momentum. Momentum feels like motivation. But it was built, not waited for. So the next time you think, I don't feel motivated, remember this. Motivation is a guest. Habits are residents. Guests are unreliable. Residents pay rent. Japanese students chose residents. And that's why they move forward quietly, steadily, and effectively, while the rest of the world is still waiting for motivation to wake up. So don't wait. Sit down. Start small. Be boring. And watch how your life changes, without motivation ever knocking on the door.